Welcome back. In this video we're going to discuss on how to create more complex firewall policies and use the Firewall Object Manager to make your life a little bit easier. So what we do, we've got the standard dashboard here. What we're going to do to start with, we're going to look at the Firewall Object Manager. What this does, it enables you to name devices for ease and create groups of objects for reuse in any across your policies. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to create a new object and we're just going to call it the Google DNS. We know that the IP address for the DNS server is 8.8.8.8 and away we go. So instead of having to type 8.8.8 each time, we've got a reference of Google DNS in there. Makes life easy for you. We're also going to do the quad 4 DNS, and that's 4.4.4.4.4. These are some of the DNS servers that you may use within your organization. What we can do then, instead of referencing those, we just want to create an object group. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to call it Internet DNS servers. And in there, we're going to group those two hosts that we've created there. So what we can do, we can actually use the that inside of our policies. One thing that we have released is the use of Azure service tags. So this is when you want to be able to permit access to Azure or AWS services, but instead of using FQDNs, you actually want to be able to lock down the IP addresses. So what we can do is we're going to say, I want my internal networks to be able to speak to UK West. We're going to look for the storage and we're going to take that one there. What this is doing, it's going off and it's going and finding all of the IP address ranges that are associated with the UK West blob storage. So it saves you having to go out and find all these and keep these updated and create a long firewall policy with this. We've done it for you. So let's create a more complex policy. So we're going to take the policy that we created earlier on. We can see that these are associated devices and you can delete them, remove them from there, or we can associate more devices in there if you wanted to, but we're just going to leave this one just to test on this one box for the minute. Management rules, as we discussed previously, these are the firewall rules connecting to the firewall or gateway itself. We've allowed a fictitious 123.123.123.123 access into the box on port 22 for SSH. We may want to allow access for ICMP. So you can ping it from the outside world to make sure that it's up and alive. So this is ICMP health check from HQ or another cloud provider. That's perfectly fine. So this is allowing that the firewall respond on ICMP. So these management rules are for the rules connecting to the box. Now let's go talk about protecting in and out of the network itself. So these are the rules that you'll mainly work with. So let's pretend that our internal network for our VPC is that, and what we want to be able to do is connect to the DNS servers that we had previously. And instead of creating individual ones, we're going to use the group that we created. We're going to allow outbound. On port 53, we're going to permit it. We're going to SNAT so that it can get connection outbound. And we're going to use the IP address of the firewall itself. And this is outbound to DNS on the internet. As we talked about previously, we want these servers internally to be able to connect to blob storage for whatever reason in the Azure regions. So what we can do down here is we've already imported those service tags. By clicking on UK Storage UK West, what that's doing is under the hood is importing all of those 20 prefixes and IP ranges so that you can use them and reference them just with one go there. Likeliness, it will be on 443 HTTPS across the internet. I'm going to do that, allow that. I'm going to allow to Azure UK West blob storage. If we then want to enable FQDN filtering, which is blocking HTTP, HTTPS and quick traffic, we can do that in here. So for our organization, we want to block socials. So in here, what we're going to do star.facebook. We're going to do star.com TikTok. What we want to do, we want to log it and we want to block it, but we want everything else to be able to be permitted. Now you can turn on logging with the catch-all to allow everything, but that will fill up your logs. You may want to do that for diagnostic purposes. So we've created an FQDN filter. Worth noting that when you do an FQDN filter, it processes those at the bottom of your rules here, so you can explicitly permit 443 and web traffic above it, but you're not inspecting based on FQDN and the SNI. So FQDN filtering happens after everything else. So we've created a more complex rule set here, and what we're going to do, we're just going to save and apply it. So this is more complex rules, and we're going to save and apply and push, and you get two results. One is for the FQDN policy and one for the firewall policy that's been successfully updated. If you had multiple firewalls associated with this policy, it would list them all out here and give you the green or red whether there was an issue or not. It won't push to a policy, it won't push to a firewall that is not connected or dead or been turned off. So that's as simple as that. That's a more complex firewall rule set and the advantage of using the firewall object manager to make your life a little bit easier. So I hope that was informative. On the next one, we're going to talk about some of the audit features that we've got internally for your internal governance to see who is pushing what policies, if files have been deleted and various things like that. But for the minute, thank you very much.